Good evening. Let's call the Yukon City Council meeting for November the 1st, 2011 to order. At this time, I would ask you to stand for the invocation by Pastor Gary Reynolds of the First Church of the Nazarene of Yukon and remain standing for the flag salute.
Our gracious God, we pause to remind ourselves that all authority comes from you. And so we come together and pray for these our leaders, asking that you would give them a measure of wisdom tonight as they make decisions, even more as they lead us through this year. May what is said and done here bring glory to you, and may it be for the good of this community. And we will give you thanks for it all in Christ's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Alberts.
Yes.
Gerba.
Yes.
Bradway.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Maxey.
Yes. Presentations and proclamations. If the representative from Mobile Meals would meet me around front. We'll read our proclamation. It says, proclamation, whereas Yukon Mobile Meals has been providing services to elderly persons in need of noon home-delivered meals since 1975, and whereas all delivery services are provided by approximately 100 individual volunteers each month, and whereas, except for the kitchen supervisor's paid position, all other services and supplies are from donations by individuals, area churches, and other organizations, and whereas the City of Yukon City Council is honored and privileged to provide program director to coordinate the daily operation and to provide space and facilities in the Dale Robinson Center for the service. Whereas in recognition for this vital program and the many dedicated volunteers, now therefore I, John Alberts, Mayor of the City of Yukon, do hereby proclaim Sunday, November the 6th, 2011 as Mobile Meals Sunday in the City of Yukon, Oklahoma, under my hand and seal, John Alberts, Mayor, and Douglas Shivers, City Clerk. Thank you very much. Congratulations. And you want to share with us some information about Mobile Meals?
Well, this month we just celebrated with Volunteer Appreciation Mugs and Muffin. We do have 84 active volunteers, and then we have probably another 20 or so substitutes that help us carry out the program. Our average during the summer was 60, and we've now grown to 67. So we just wanted to get the word out that we're there, and if you know of anybody that's in need of the program, to be sure and let us know.
Thank you very much. It's a great service. At this time, we'll recess. Oh, I'm sorry, my favorite part. It's the visitor section of the meeting tonight, and not hardly one's here. I'm a little disappointed that we don't have a full room, but this is the opportunity. If you have something that you'd like to address with the council and talk to us about that's not an agenda item, you can come forward at this time. Give us your name and your address. Any takers? Okay. Well, seeing none, we'll move on. We'll recess as the Yukon City Council and reconvene as the Yukon Municipal Authority. The first item is item 1A, the YMA consent docket. This item is placed on the agenda so the Yukon Municipal Authority, by unanimous consent, can designate those routine items that wish to be approved by one motion. If an item does not meet with the approval of all authority members, that item will be heard in regular order. The city manager recommends a motion to approve A, the minutes of the regular meeting of October the 18th, 2011. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
Discussion?
Yes, Mayor. I was looking through my packet, the Yukon Municipal Authority minutes for October the 18th, 2011. You've got the consent docket down here, but there was not a copy in my packet, at least. Maybe you all got one, but I didn't have the minutes from the Yukon City Council meeting. The rest of the council look in there and see if you've got it. If not,
I have the meetings from the last month's or last city council meeting.
you got them?
I have the minutes.
Right there. Item 1.
Yeah.
You just got one?
Yeah, see, it is right here.
If there, you don't have it either.
Chandler.
There's two of us don't have it. Look at yours, John. See if you
Yeah, I have it.
What are you looking
We
for?
got 1A and 2A, but we're looking for all the other items.
Item
around.
1 is the minutes of the council meeting. Item 1, Mr. Bradway?
When I consent
No,
docket,
No, Mr. Bradway, item 1.
Here it is.
where is it? Item 1. Okay, let me look that over here. All right, very good. Got it. Thank you very much. It wasn't in the place I was looking for it.
Any other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Smith?
Yes.
Gerba?
Yes.
Alberts?
Yes.
Maxey?
Yes.
Bradway?
Yes.
The next item is 2A, consider approving an amendment to the current water treatment plant operation agreement with Veolia Water North American Operating Services LLC for the purpose of implementing a consumer price index adjustment to the fee resulting in a fee of $94,127.33 per month, also implementing a new fee of $5,000 per year for additional testing required by the current discharge permit. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
Discussion. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Alberts?
Yes.
Maxey?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Bradway?
Yes.
Gerba?
Yes.
At this time, we'll adjourn as YMA and reconvene as the Yukon City Council. The first item is number 1, the consent docket. This item is placed on our agenda so the Yukon City Council, by unanimous consent, can designate those routine items that wish to be approved by one motion. If an item does not meet with the approval of all council members, that item will be heard in regular order. The city manager recommends a motion that will approve A, the minutes of the regular meeting of October the 18th, 2011, B, the payment of material claims in the amount of $416,392.03, C, a settlement agreement between Cox, TMI, or Wireless LLC to terminate a lease for approximately 100 square feet of 12601 Northwest 10th Street, the Yukon water tank. D, the receipt of the Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality Permit number SL0005511073 for the construction of 1,465 linear feet of 8-inch sewer line to serve the city of Yukon West 10th Street Office Center Sewer Line Extension Project. E, setting the date for the next regular council meeting for November the 15th, 2011, 7 p.m. in the council chambers of the Centennial Building, 12 South 5th in Yukon.
I'd like to move to approve with one correction. Minutes of the regular meeting, October 18th, 2011, shows, before our discussion, shows Mayor Bob Bradway read the rules for discussion. I think it's pretty clear, John, that you're the mayor. So with that correction, I'd move that we approve it.
Mr. Smith, I apologize, that's my typo.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Actually, that was the motion to approve with that change. We need a second.
Second.
Any other discussion? All right, subject to the subject to the change, call the roll.
Maxey?
Yes.
Gerba?
Yes.
Bradway?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Alberts?
Yes. Number 2 is reports of boards, commissions, and city officials. Mr. Klein.
Good evening, folks. I'm Russell Klein, Chairman of the Board of Adjustment. Been on the board for 7 years, been Chairman of the board for the last 5 years. I was looking to see if my Vice Chair is not here, so I'll go through and I'll tell you who the members are. We have Sherry Hudson, Ward 1, Nick Gerbas. Ward 2 is vacant, and that's John Alberts. Ward 3 is Dwayne Maxey, and that's Joe Horn is the vice chair, and he's been vice chair for the last 3 years. I'm Russ Klein again, Ward 4. Bob Bradway is my sponsor, and then at the at-large board is Buddy Carpenter, and that's Ken Smith. Basically, the duties of the Board of Adjustment, there's 2 main duties. The first one is an administrative review, and that's to hear and decide appeals which are alleged that there's been an error in order, requirement, decision, or determination made by the zoning administrator, building instructor, or other administrative officer in the enforcement of the City of Yukon Code of Ordinance. And that Code of Ordinance is basically our Bible. That's our guideline, and everything that we judge is in compliance with that. Second part then is to hear an appeal from a citizen. And a citizen can find something that they need to vary from the ordinance. They fill out paperwork and they come to the Board of Adjustments, and we listen to that. And basically what we're looking for here is it's not contrary to public interest. The ordinance is our guideline, and it's there so that we can control and have control if we want to grant a variance. This last 10 months, we've had 6 variance requests. We've accepted 5, rejected 1, and basically that rejection was on an environmental issue dealing with a surface treatment, a ground surface treatment that we felt would jeopardize the community. We've had 2 in the lot yard and height regulations, commercial districts. We've had 1 variance request, which is uses permitted commercial district. 1 variance request for the rear yard setback. 1 for height for agricultural district, and 1 request for parking areas and construction standards. Basically, when granting a variance, we strive to adhere to the spirit of the ordinance, mindful of public safety, welfare, and justice for the citizen, and how he utilizes or tries to use his piece of property that's rightfully his. In the report that that Mitch Hort's office helped prepare, or actually prepared, Calendar Board of Adjustments, and it lists every one of the variances requested by name. So if you have that and have a specific question, we could address that. That basically, sir, is our function and what we do. Does anyone have any question?
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Klein. We appreciate you taking your time to come down and also to serve. Thank you very much. The next item is item number 3. Or, I guess, any other reports?
That's all.
Okay. Next item, item number 3, is consider approving staff's recommendations regarding the operation changes to the city provided sanitation service, including but not limited to rates, equipment, and staffing.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion?
Actually, I had just a couple of very quick things. On one of the calls that I've received concerning new procedures and policies within sanitation is in hopes that maybe sanitation department might consider a moratorium over maybe a month-long period in the spring when we go through scalping our yards, because there's even if we have 2 of our 96-gallon trash hoppers, which is going to be fantastic that we get no additional cost. When you scalp your yard, I don't know how, my yard's like a matchstick, and I have 8 or 10 bags of grass clippings. So hope that something like that might be considered. One thing I know we'll need to keep in mind, if that is something that's implemented, that moratorium, is separating commercial yard scalping from we as individual citizens doing our own scalping. Obviously, we wouldn't want to take that commercial refuse. One possible solution to that might be requiring the landscape companies to pull a permit to scalp, so we can monitor which ones are commercially done, which ones are independently done, not charge them a significant fee, maybe even in exchange for that fee, let them dump their stuff at the transfer station at a minimum or discounted price of some kind. So if we could work something like that out where we would have the moratorium during the spring as opposed to that $25 fee that will come into play with a special pickup, I think that would be of interest to many of the citizens of Yukon.
In addition to that, we've also had calls concerning on a regular weekly basis 2 big dumpsters is not going to be enough to serve. So we are even going to look at a rental possibility for a 3rd dumpster that could be placed at your home. So Yes, anything's possible, everything's on the table. These are the basic changes that we're looking at, and we'll be sensitive to all of those requests.
I wanted to raise one too, if I could.
Yes, sir.
I was looking at the third item down. It says each resident will receive a new 96-gallon poly cart and a second cart if requested at no change. Last meeting, we talked about financial incentive to have people recycle. And one of the things I think would be a great idea was, instead of just basically giving, well, you can give everybody 2 carts, but maybe throw a $2 discount, $3 discount at somebody who only uses 1 cart and generates half the trash. I think would be a great idea.
Any other discussion?
Any of
Mr.
that?
Maxey?
No.
Anything? I have a couple of questions. It says we're gonna raise the monthly trash service to $16.60. Isn't that up, is that up 10 cents? Is that what it was?
Well, no, it's actually up 42 cents.
42 cents, okay, I remembered it was fairly, okay.
And then remember that also under that next item down, the discount that's,
For seniors,
and low and moderate income households.
okay, because that's what I was going, item number 9, which is the one below the next one down, is that what, because it says customers with an annual income at or below the moderate income, they're also entitled to the $12 discount?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then also, the last question that I had, the annual CPI increase, any idea what that will be?
Well, if you looked at this year's CPI, it was nothing, 2%. The highest I have seen in a CPI in the last 8 years is 3.2%.
Okay, so typically less than 5% annual,
Yes.
and that will, now, we're voting as defined, in number, I guess my concern is exactly what are we voting on tonight? Is it these 10 items?
These 10 items, which are all operational.
Okay,
The next item down is how do we equip the service?
And if I might
Okay, but
interject, Mr. Mayor, the rate increase cannot take effect by virtue of any action you take tonight.
Got to have an
Rates
ordinance.
have to be by ordinance, and they will be separately considered at a later meeting. So this is just sort of approving the plan, but rates won't go into effect, no rate increase until there's an actual ordinance voted on by the council.
well, that's what I was, of these 10 items that are listed, I mean, will staff be presenting back information? What role will the city council have from this point forward regarding any of these? Because what these amount to are policies, I guess, is that right? So these are
Operational
policies?
changes, then if it goes beyond that, such as the rate,
Okay,
then that becomes a matter of law that you have to pass an ordinance.
so, and then every year that CPI increase will have to come before the council?
Unless you vote it not to.
What has
Exactly.
occurred in the past, Mr. Mayor, is that the council would consider an ordinance relating to the charges for the citizens for water or the charges for garbage service and pass an ordinance that had effect for 3 years. So the rate would be a certain amount. The following year, the rate might increase by 2%, and the following year, the rate might increase by another 2%. So historically, the council has just done like a 3-year package with regard to rates. It's contemplated under the new program that the council might consider, just instead of doing that every 3 years, do it one time and attach the CPI to it so that there'll be an automatic increase.
From a budgetary standpoint.
But that, from a budgetary standpoint, but that's just contemplated at this juncture. You will be provided with ample information prior to making that decision.
Okay, so, and will the rate change and then the CPI increase, will those come as 2 different ordinances?
They can come in the same ordinance.
Okay, my personal opinion, I'd request that they come in 2 different ordinances.
Okay. We
So,
can do that.
is there a reason not to do it? I mean, I don't want to make things more complicated, but I just would like to make sure that we have a good discussion if we need to about the CPI.
We'll do that. It'll be 2 separate
Okay,
ordinances.
thank you. Any other questions?
I'm sorry, one last one though. As far as the details of all these stipulations, it would have to come before the council to change any of these
No.
again?
No.
Okay.
Not,
We-
not,
We've been, I'm sorry, Mike. We've been provided much of the detail for each of these items already. I mean, we've
I'm just saying-
discussed them a number of times, and
Right, because when we were discussing custom tailoring this, or there may be some bugs to be tweaked out, that's what I'm looking down the road in case we have to implement any changes. How easy is it to implement those changes?
Very easy. First of all, the tweaking part of it, we would anticipate handling within staff to do those things with a notification to council. Should council desire other changes or to rescind anything that we have done, that's certainly can be done.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
So just the two things, just to be clear, that will come back before us are the CPI and the rate change.
And the discount.
Okay, and the discount. Other than that, Mr. Gerber, you understand that the rest of the staff will handle?
Correct.
Okay. Any other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Alberts.
Yes.
Gerba.
Yes.
Bradway.
Yes.
Smith.
yes.
Maxey.
Yes. The next item on the agenda is item number 4, and that's consider approving expenditure of funds in an amount not to exceed $1,700,000 for the lease and purchase of the required equipment to implement operational changes to city-provided sanitation services. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Discussion. Discussion? Call the roll.
Gerba.
Yes.
Maxey.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Alberts.
Yes.
Bradway.
Yes.
The next item is item 5, and that's consider approving an amendment to the current water treatment plant operation agreement with Veolia Water North America Operating Services LLC for the purpose of implementing a consumer price index adjustment to the fee, resulting in a fee of $94,127.33 per month, also implementing a new fee of $5,000 per year for additional testing required by the current discharge permit. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second?
Discussion? Discussion?
Just one very quick thing. I am correct in understanding where it's $5,000 per year for additional testing required by the current discharge permit. That is new testing, not more testing.
That is both new and additional by its very nature. Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
We have to test upstream and downstream now, don't we?
Upstream and downstream,
Upstream and downstream.
Twice a month.
twice a month.
Yeah.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Smith.
Yes.
Bradway.
Yes.
Maxey.
Yes.
Gerba.
Yes.
Alberts.
Yes. The next item is item number 6. That's consider approving ordinance number 1271, an ordinance which provides an amendment to the Court of Ordinances of the City of Yukon, Oklahoma, by amending Chapter 46, Article 2 of the Code of Ordinances by amending Section 46 through 44 to provide for notice to an owner of property which may be determined to be a present nuisance, amending Section 46 through 46 to provide for a hearing by the city manager or his designee, amending Section 46 through 47 to provide for a reasonable time within which to abate a nuisance, amending Section 46 through 48 to provide for an appeal to the city council of orders by the city manager or his designee, amending Section 46 through 49 to provide that the city manager or his designee shall determine cost of abatement, amending Section 46 through 51 to provide that the city manager or his designee may cause reoccurring nuisances to be summarily abated, and renumbering and declaring an emergency. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Now, we discussed this previously. This is the one that came for us before. We decided at that time to bring it forward as an item instead of hearing it out here in public. The city manager or his designee can take care of it. But the important thing about this is that the public still has the appeal process
Absolutely.
to the council, which I feel like is important. If we didn't have that in there, it shouldn't go forward.
And it absolutely makes it consistent with the other ways that we handle situations such as this.
Now, and also, whenever you're talking about, you all have the ability to abate yourself. That abatement is gonna be based on strictly the cost incurred by the city, and it'll be well documented for any appeal. our process, the's no administrative cost to it, it's just strictly labor, material?
Whatever it takes to abate it.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Gerba?
No.
Mr. Smith?
No, sir.
Mr. Maxey?
There actually is some administrative cost in there. Somebody has to sit down and.
Well, there is, but that can be documented as to how much time. And it can be, I think that the point is to be reasonable.
Well, when you take time to go to Canadian County Court and file a lien on somebody's
Well,
house.
Well, there's that
Yeah, that would
cost
be-
that's associated with that.
That would be documented, but you wouldn't have a flat administrative charge of 15% or 20%. Then that would just be arbitrary and capricious and just put it on there.
Historically, the city's been very meticulous about documenting every bit of staff time that's gone into or associated with the abatement.
As they have, and we want
They
them
have.
to continue
Yes,
to
sir.
do such.
They should.
It's
yes,
good
sir.
for everybody that they do.
They do.
Well, the goal here is not to make this a for-profit
No.
procedure. It's just to,
Abate the nuisance.
right.
Do what it costs.
Well, and my question is do we have a form? I mean, how will the citizens be notified of what they're, like Mr. Bradway says, make sure they have the opportunity to come and speak with it? And I think that that's what some of us have been doing this for a long time, are a little bit worried about. We've heard lots of these over the years and taken
Right.
into consideration. So, I mean, do you all have an idea of I mean, will they sign off on something? Hello, Mitchell.
Hello, Mayor.
Speaking of that process,
Basically, it's going to be the same process, other than the council is not going to be the first body that's going to hear it. The timeline's going to be shorter, that's what we're intended
Right.
for. But it's going to be a shorter process. Yeah, it's going to be a similar process. There's going to be some changes in our forms, but it's going to be at the city manager level that they're going to have the first hearing.
Okay. So the goal of this is to expedite the nuisance being taken care of.
Yes.
So because we know that people come down here and they're upset because we can't get the grass mowed. So
Yes,
this will
and in those
shorten
that need help, we can find them help, and we've done that in the past, but this is just a better process.
Okay.
our complaint on a swimming
Well,
pool
and
for 18 years.
Right, and okay. Well, Mitchell, I know you'll do a great job. I'm just worried about the guy after you, and I know that if you leave, that Grayson will hire just an equally wonderful person, but I just want to
Is there-
make sure
is there
that there's a
something we
good
should know, Mitchell?
policy,
I guess I need to start
good
watching.
policy in place to make sure that, like Bob says, that they understand the process, so,
They need to
okay.
understand.
Yes, and we will let them know the process, and we will work with them like we always have. But like I said, we're just trying to shorten the process because of the complaints we receive from
Sure.
other
I think it's an
citizens.
excellent idea to,
And John, if it's any comfort, if the process is not followed, the lien is not valid.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's right.
Okay.
That'd be right.
and I don't mean to protect the people that don't mow their grass. I'm sympathetic to their neighbors, so I'd like to see the process move along more quickly because I've had several people ask us why it takes so long, so good luck. I
They'll
appreciate
have
it.
their due process.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right,
And-
thanks.
And now, John, he's gonna have to answer the question tomorrow all day at work. When's he leaving?
Yeah, enjoy your new job, Mitchell.
No, no,
Congratulations on your new.
no.
Any other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Gerba,
Yes.
Alberts,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Maxey,
Yes.
Bradway.
Yes.
Move the emergency.
Have a second?
Second.
There you go, everybody.
It's a tie. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Maxey,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Gerba,
Yes.
Bradway,
Yes.
Alberts.
Yes. Next item is 7, consider approving the city manager to negotiate terms of a credit facility in the amount of $1,700,000 with Arvest Bank to provide funding for the purchase of vehicles and equipment as outlined in the fiscal year 2011-12 budget.
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Discussion?
Well, with this come before the council before, we had the bank's bid on it, Grayson, and we picked the lowest interest charged to the city. So Grayson's just really doing no more than closing the deal.
I'm going to finish negotiating the rest of the terms, make sure that legal counsel has approved the form as to form, make sure that I can recommend it to the mayor for signature and to attestment to the city clerk.
Okay.
Other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Alberts.
Yes.
Bradway.
Yes.
Gerba.
Yes.
Maxey.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Next item is item 8, the city manager's report.
I'm going to try to move through this pretty quickly. Sarah has been ecstatic for the last month and a half concerning ebooks. It's a wonderful program through the Mabel Fry Library. If you haven't signed up for it, gotten your card, I encourage you to do so. It's one of the hottest things going. So far, we've had 848 people since September the 1st that have taken advantage of ebooks. That is really pretty remarkable number. Altogether, we have a total of 6,287 titles available for ebooks for checkout electronically. That's a lot. The important thing is that once a year, and again this year, we have received a grant. The metropolitan area and the Oklahoma Department of Libraries has given a grant in the amount of $100,000 for the purchase of ebooks and materials related thereto. Great job, Sarah. I just wanted to highlight that. I know that y'all have seen that before and have heard about it, but I wanted to highlight that to you publicly in this meeting. The next thing I wanted to talk about was some street improvements. So far in really the last month and a half, we have undertaken 4 major street repairs. One of them was at East Parkland and Glacier, to replace partial intersection there. East Parkland and Bighorn, replaced another partial intersection. Preston Park addition, repairs to lowering across the complete entrance to an addition, had to be raised back up. And then also at Olympic and Bighorn, repaired drainage structures. We have been very aggressive. We will continue to be aggressive when it comes to street repairs. And we will be coming to you in our next budget cycle with what we think will accelerate what we can do in the repair and maintenance of our streets, particularly our residential streets, moving forward. Also, the booster pump station for the people in Parkland 2 in particular, the booster station there on Cornwell will be coming on board. The reason that phase 1 of that is to start increasing pressure over many weeks. That will be done in 3 or 4 pounds of pressure per week as we move up till we finally get to a total pressure of 70 pounds per square inch in those lines. Next summer, we will again readjust based on the usage that occurs next summer. We wanted to state this publicly because people that live in Parkland 2 need to be aware that we're going to be increasing the pressure. Be alert, make sure that you let us know and so that we don't have any major catastrophes as we move forward in turning up the pressure and start blowing lines out of the ground or anything like that. So we want everybody to be careful. We're coming up on the holiday season. In fact, this Friday is the first of the park cleanup projects, the Patriot Project. There'll be 600 students from the Southwest Covenant School. They'll be working in 3 park complexes, City, Freedom, and Chisholm. They'll be painting, landscaping, refreshing the park. This is an annual project of that school. We appreciate their effort and their work. The Pumpkin Harvest Craft Festival will be Saturday the 5th at the Robertson Activity Center. Also, there will be a fall book sale at the library from 9 to 3 in conjunction with the Pumpkin Harvest. Opening of Christmas in the Park will be November the 19th. It includes Kris Kringle Carnival. It's from 6 to 8. Also, Chill Your Cheeks 5K run at 4:30 at Chisholm Trail, Mayor. And then Jungle Fun Walk at 5:30 at Freedom Trail. Make yourself available. Then the state's outstanding event, as named by Red Carpet Country, Frontier Country, I'm sorry, throwback. We start a 43-day run of Christmas in the Park. Public Works has been busy getting us set up to start the project. We have a lot of volunteers. We have a lot of employees. This is a total city effort. But it brings a lot of people to town and brings them for the right reason. Mayor's Christmas Party for Kids will be Saturday, December the 3rd. And that's also when, Mayor, you will announce the winners of the Mayor's Essay Contest.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And then on Thursday, December the 15th, Sounds of the Season will be at the Yukon Fine Arts Auditorium. Beautiful event. I am told I look forward to my very first one. I'm looking, I think it'll be great. It's a program that was started by Jim, and I can't wait to go. I think it'll be great. Finally, information technology. Every day I walk in and ask Gary what he's bought me today, and sure enough, he always tells me something. He seems to buy something every day. But I wanted to bring you up on our webpage. We have decided to update and refresh the city's webpage, make it more user-friendly, also provide more pictures, some video concerning our events, those kind of things. It also provides for a searchable code of ordinances. If you want to know what the code says about dogs, you go in there and type dogs, and it'll give you every ordinance related to dogs. Additionally, we have a video archive. If you'll go right now, you will be able to see the last two of the city council meetings in their entirety on video, and watch it as many times as you want to watch it. Okay? It's available to you. Additionally, my manager notes that I send to you as a city council update, that is also listed right beside the video of the council meeting itself. So as a prelude, if you wanted to read my notes before watching the council meeting. We have been with Back 40 Design out of Edmond for several years. They do a great job. I really was impressed with the work they do, and they're very reasonable for not only refreshing our website, but also hosting the website as well, and providing us with self-editing of our website within each department. UVerse update. We have had 2 vendors come and review the equipment that we have in the corner. Upgrades will be necessary to accomplish all of that. We knew that going in. The UVerse cost will be the purchase of a digital encoder box to convert the signal from analog to digital. That box costs $6,400 plus a annual monthly maintenance fee of $600 a month to go with AT&T UVerse. It also requires the installation of a T1 line to broadcast the signal real time, and that is what the $600 per month is for, is that T1 line, so we can broadcast in real time. All in all, we're also looking at some equipment upgrades over there that we believe Mark will be able to use to better present what goes on all across the council chamber during a meeting and to make it more effective. Mark, we do appreciate your effort every week trying to do this. Great job. Mayor, with that, I'm done.
I guess I have a question about the cost. What percentage of the community has UVerse versus Cox? I mean, is it a good? I hate to think that part of the community can't see the meeting because they use UVerse. Cox is, what's the cost associated with Cox?
Free.
Okay, why is AT&T unwilling to?
That would be correct. And it is a completely different signal. What we provide to Cox the way we do it over here, that signal is compatible with the broadcast equipment of the cable system. UVerse, however, our equipment is not compatible with that broadcast.
Okay, well, I can understand the $6,400 equipment, but $600 a month?
For the T1 line, which allows us to broadcast that real time. Now, should you desire, we could probably do it in delayed broadcast other than a T1 line. But to do it in conjunction with Cox, which would be live, we have to have a T1 line in order to send the signal to AT&T for their broadcast.
I'd be interested to know what the numbers are in the community as far as how many people are
I'll be
Cox,
happy to find that
AT&T.
out.
And I'd want the council to discuss that. I think-
That's $7,200 a year.
Yeah, I
You
think
know,
that's it's
significant amount of
important.
money.
I think that-
T1 line in City Hall, that won't work if we extend it over
Cannot
there.
be shared.
Can't be shared.
It cost us $600 in City Hall?
It costs us, I don't know what we, yeah, well, our T1 lines, yeah, they would cost us $600 a month over there too.
Dwayne, don't you?
That's where I made my retirement at.
I think we need to maybe discuss that issue a little bit more. I'd hate to see us.
Sure. That's why I wanted to bring those numbers to you.
Okay. That's surprising. Okay. Next item is the new business. Do we have any new business? No new business. Council discussion. Mr. Maxey.
I don't have anything this evening.
Mr. Smith.
A couple brief things. I'd like to give Sarah kudos. The number of electronic titles just seems to be snowballing, which is fantastic. I think reaching into technology, that's a wonderful thing you're doing. Also, I'd like to thank the city and the street department for the street repairs that have taken place in Parkland 2. I think Merle Farmer in particular is probably going to be a happy man when he gets back. But I appreciate that work being done, and it makes our neighborhood just that much nicer. And that's it.
Mr. Gerba.
I just kind of want to say thanks to all the citizens for having such a relatively drama-less Halloween. I mean, talking with Chief Warren, really didn't have any issues. Everybody really behaved themselves. All the kids had a good time. And in my neighborhood anyway, there was a lot of people that was obvious were coming from outside Yukon to our neighborhoods to trick-or-treat. And that's really just kind of a testament to what Yukon has to offer. So that's all I've got.
Mr. Bradway.
One thing I'd like to talk for just a minute, and we've discussed this before, and that's on our 1 penny sales tax, 1 penny sales tax for the public employees, you know, for their retirement. Our form that we have here, Tammy was good enough to give me a copy of it. I missed the book, and on the electronic part of it, you know, when you sit on the computer, those sales tax, not these, but the records on my computer on the screen, they're blurry, they're hard to read. The sales tax for the month, you know, all.
Oh, that goes into your monthly departmental report.
Right, we go to the monthly department head book, rather than having a live book like this where you can read it and understand it and go it over. Now, the pictures of the police dog and the motorcycle officer are perfect. You know, if the garbage deal or something like that, that's fine. But when we're tracking those sales figures for revenue, you can't read them. On this one, we're going to be doing this from now on. We've got them from the year 2004 to the current year, and then done by date and by month. What I would like to see on this is to have a summary of the figure of the total amount of money that we have in our 5% reserve fund, so that you can look at the bottom of it and see. You've got it in the book, it's over $5 million. But I think 19 million on the 3/4 of a cent. If we could get those going so that everybody that's looking at this, public, city councilmen, city employees, would know immediately how much money we have there. Because we're getting enough money in those.
But you're being, Mike, you're being provided a fund balance report?
Right here. This is bi-monthly. But it's not an ongoing total balance
Right.
of what we have in there. And see, as years go on, you're gonna run out, you're not gonna have enough paper here, enough room to submit that. It's gonna be difficult. If you just had one square that showed the current balance for all those years, you know, whatever it is.
I'm surprised that wasn't in your monthly report.
Well, there's a monthly
Departmental
report, and it shows a summary, and it talks about the 5% reserve fund,
Right.
5 million, it's on that sheet. But I'd like to see it hooked up on this so that you can see your monthly deals. You got room, just put it there, and then we've got it for both events. That's all.
I don't have anything this evening. With no other business before the council, we stand adjourned.